Hey guys, welcome back. So today's video is gonna be a story time and we're gonna talk about creepy people. I don't know about you, but I seem to have a lot of interactions with creepy people, just walking around stores, walking around in school, at my job, and this particular situation I think is probably number one in the list of creepy encounters that I've had with the rest of mankind. So let's jump right into it. I work at a restaurant, and on this particular day, I was cleaning in the bar area. There was a man sitting at the bar, and it was not especially busy, but it also wasn't completely dead in the restaurant. So I was cleaning tables, and I thought I heard someone say, "Miss, excuse me," but I wasn't sure if they were talking to me or if they were talking to the bartender or somebody else around them, so I just kind of ignored it, took my dirty dishes, and walked back into the kitchen. Um, I came back out a second time and started to clean another table, and I heard him say more pointedly to me, like, "Excuse me," and I turn around and I see him waving me over. So I walk over to the bar thinking, oh, maybe he just has a question about the food or about gift cards or something. We get the strangest questions sometimes, and that was not the case. He started making small talk with me, and I was kind of feeling like the situation was weird already because I had felt like somebody was watching me in the bar, but I wasn't really kind of looking around because it happens, people stare at you, and this situation was a little bit different in that he was making this small talk and he was like, "So what's your name?" And I pointed out my name tag and I was like, "Jordan," like everybody can see it. I mean, you could read it. And he's saying, "Oh, okay." And he kept talking to me, and I said, "Okay, well, I have to go back to my work now. Nice talking to you." And so I went and I cleaned another table, and I took the dishes, and I went back, and then I went and wiped down the table, and then he called me over a third time. Or a second time, because the first time I never went over to him because I thought he was talking to somebody else. So he called me over again, and I went over and I said, "Yes, how can I help you?" And he goes, "Can I take you out sometime?" And I was like, "What?" Because the person sitting at the bar who was calling me over was a grown man. I was 19 at the time, but it was obvious this man was no younger than 30, and that's being generous. And so I went over and I was like, "No, I think I'm a little bit too young for you." And he goes, "Well, how old are you?" And I said, 19. And he said, "What? 19? You're not 19." And he kept, like, driving in the point that I couldn't possibly be 19, and so that's why I should go out with him. And I said, "No, I'm sorry, I'm not interested right now." And he's like, "Do you have a boyfriend?" I was like, "No, I'm just not interested." And so I went back to my work and continued running around the restaurant, cleaning tables, wiping stuff down, and it just so happened that the last table that I had to clean was directly behind his seat at the bar. So, like, the table was here and he was sitting here, and so I'm over here cleaning the table, wiping it down, and I see him turn around in his seat and go like this. And I took a couple steps forward because I was getting irritated now, and I don't understand how someone who could have received the answer no so many times could just continually ask someone out over and over again. And I said, "What can I help you with?" And he said, "You're not 19." And I was kind of laughing, but it was like an angry laugh, like, "You've got to be kidding me." And I told him my full date of birth because I was trying to get him, like, to leave me alone and to prove that I was 19 years old and there was no way that I was ever going to go out with this man. And he was like, "Oh, well, that's not that bad." And I said, I'm sorry, no." And I just, like, walked away, and I took my dishes, went back to the kitchen, did my stuff again, and then I took a side, I took the side door out of the kitchen and I went to a part of the restaurant where I could kind of avoid him, and I knew that he couldn't see me, but I could still see him, and so I just kind of hid back there until I saw him leave. And that was the end of that encounter until probably a month later. I walk in, it's a Sunday afternoon, I go to clock in and I see he's sitting at the bar again, and I was like, please, please, please don't look over here, please don't notice me. And unfortunately, he's waving at me. And so I politely wave at him, and I refuse to look in his direction. So he can't wave me over, he can't call me over, he can't give me a pointed look. And I guess he was finishing his meal by the time that I came in, because he walks up to the host stand where I'm standing, and he slides his card across the wood next to my hand, and he said, if you ever want to talk, just give me a call. And I just said, okay, bye. And he left, and I took the card and I looked up his name on Google, and lo and behold, the magical world of Google tells me this man is 44 years old. I don't know if he's 45 now, because this happened in in 2015, and it's now the beginning of 2016. I don't know when his birthday is. I don't want to know. But he is old enough to be my father, and he refused to take no for an answer. And I get that some people have age gap relationships, but 19 and 44 is way too much of an age gap. I looked him up, and it came up that he had been a baseball player. I think he was Major League for one season in Boston or something. I don't really follow sports. I don't know much about professional Major League sports, and by proxy, I don't know much about baseball. But it said he played in Boston, I think, and then he had played overseas, I guess from a traveling team. The baseball point is because while we were having that conversation, he was trying to, I guess, impress me by telling me that he had played baseball and all this other nonsense. So far, I haven't seen him, and I'm very thankful of that, and I would recommend to other people who are in this situation that, number one, like I said, don't give out your date of birth. It's personal information that is not necessary to share with the public. Number two, if you're in the situation and it's a customer that's making you uncomfortable, walk away. Sacrifice being written up if your manager is so unkind. And because in those situations where you're feeling uncomfortable, someone else is making you uncomfortable in that way, then it is important for you to walk away and just kind of put up that boundary for yourself and say, no, I'm not going to allow myself to go through this. And I guess something else that you could have done, or that I could have done, is gone to my manager and said, hey, this guy's harassing me at the bar, like, can you talk to him, or can I hang out back here until he leaves? I think I'd like to think that my managers would have been kind enough to let that, let me hang out back there. So yeah, if you guys are ever in have ever experienced something like that, comment down below and let me know how you handled the situation. Maybe we can all learn from each other's mistakes and learn how to handle creepy people better. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!